Tally-ho, everybody. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, where we, and by we I mean I, have finally remembered that there was a Dark Knight quest available at level 80, and I'm going to do it and see what it is like. Our closure gives us some tanking materia. They will tell you you are 1 and you are 2. You can choose. Huh? Ah, Demajen. It so happens I have a letter for you. But before we talk about that, mind telling me what you've been getting yourself into lately? You and your scions, I mean. I've an inkling, perhaps. I went to save another world has happened. Had to go and kill a whole host of sin eaters. Come again. Reflections of the Source, Parallel Worlds, Sin Eaters, what the 7 hells are you on about? Something tells me this is only going to make any kind of sense if you walk me through it from the beginning, step by step. Yes. Storytelling time. Right, then. So to sum up, you were swept into yet another realm-shaking conflict, were you? Right so? Well, of course you were. You're an insatiable hunger for it, don't you? And even when you bite off more than you can chew, you refuse to let go. Yeah. What? As if you didn't know. Hells, from the moment I laid eyes on you, I suspected you were a particular blend of impulsive and stubborn. It's a special kind of bastard to become a Dark Knight, much less a warrior of light, don't you think? You travelled onto a doomed world and pledged your sword to a futile cause. You fought and you fought and you fought, and in the end you won the day. Though I know it wasn't without loss, without sacrifice. Victories like that are always bought with blood. But you and your comrades paid that price all the same. That faraway land and her people live on, because you were all too willing to fight to the bitter end. Because you were too stubborn to die. And because of love, I'm sure. Being grim and dark will only get you so far, don't you remember? It's like the Mughals, like Sir Pain himself said. The flame in the abyss, the love you bear for the ones you hold most dear. That is the source of true strength. Demajen could have never made it this far if her heart wasn't filled to the brim with love. I'd sooner pose like... Is this a roundabout way of asking me about my heart's desires? Totally taking a screenshot of that. Let's not and say we did, eh? I'm sure that Thancred fellow you mentioned would provide a far more meaningful and interesting response. Having to look after the reincarnation of his surrogate daughter is certainly... Though I suppose on some level I can relate. What? I've not once thought of you as my father. Well, no, I mean, we're not even the same race, so of course no one would ever look at us and assume... What? If you're going to put a label on it, then what would you prefer? Master and disciple? Manservant and noblewoman? Sid? How about Chocobo's arse, whatever you damn well like? God, you can be daft sometimes. Hey! What did I tell you about not calling me that? Foot. Mouth. Children, am I right? Teacher. Best we give her a moment to cool her head. For now, let's talk about that letter I mentioned earlier. It's addressed to you, but who penned it? I cannot say. It was delivered to me by a young woman of the broom, Lenny, I believe her name was. Said she'd seen us with you out and about in Ishgard before and reckoned that if she left it with us, she'd eventually be around to pick it up. Before you ask, no, I have not taken a peek, so its contents remain a complete and utter mystery to me. As for the sender, you'll have to pester Lenny at the Holy Stables if you want to know more. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an angry girl to mollify. Read the unsigned letter. Within the sealed envelope is a paper which you unfold to find a message written. Which you unfold to find a message written in a strangely familiar scrawl. Demajen Blackthorn, you'll forgive me for the sudden correspondence and the secrecy. You helped me, in a way, once upon a time. It's past time I said as much, and so, here we are. Feels like a lifetime ago, come to think on it. You've been through quite a lot since then. Accomplished incredible things. I'd like to think that in some way I was part of your journey. Far from the best, no doubt, but for me and my own journey, I think it's safe to say that you've been... well, there's no suitable words to describe it, really. I've done things. Made decisions. Looking back, I can't help but feel more than a little foolish, but such is life. All we have to seize what few opportunities we have for closure, even if it is through the written word and not face to face. So, wherever you are, I hope you're happy. Still fighting, still adventuring, still doing what you love. Be well. The letter bears no signature or any obvious clues as to the author's identity. Perhaps Lunny can shed light on this mystery. But didn't it say that the handwriting was familiar? Also, which Aetheryte's the Holy Stables at? Ah, yeah, the manufactory. The Ishgard theme. Still one of my favourite pieces of music, but obviously Shadowbringers has blown pretty much everything out of the water when it comes to everything in this game. Plot, music, dungeons. Achoo! Ow! Ooh! Ah! Click goes my neck. It's you! It's really you! Demajen Blackthorn, my hero! Honestly, I never thought I'd get to see you again, much less speak with you. I'm sorry, you probably don't remember it all, do you? Not surprised. Well, a day's work, I suppose, saving the silly little fools like me. It was so long ago when you rescued me from those temple knights who were trying to take me away from my grandmother. Oh, yeah, like, that was literally the level 30 quest, wasn't it? I still remember it like it was yesterday, you swinging that great big sword of yours, bellowing all kinds of terrible threats and sending them running. That was Fray. I'm sure some might say you overdid it, but thanks to you, my grandmother and I never heard from that lot again. And ever since Sir Emmerich and his allies came into power, we've had a lot less of that trouble all over. But, let me guess, you didn't come all this way just to see me, did you? No, I want to know about this letter. The letter, huh? I thought so. It wasn't me who wrote it, I can tell you that much. I got it from a knight I befriended after tending his chocobo a couple of times. Sir Patronard. He said it was to be delivered to the hero of the Scions, a peerless warrior with 1,000 victories to a name. After he described your features in detail, it all fell into place, and since I was certain you'd eventually pay a visit to your friends, I offered to take it to them. Anyway, he's the one who you need to talk to if you're after the sender. Maybe check the congregation? I mean, that's where knights congregate, I presume. Yes. That's why it's called that. Click goes my neck. Back to the Forgotten Knights. Yeah, who could this be? Somebody from a really long time ago in the storyline. That's not the way I'm going. This is the way I'm going. Up from here. Patronard. You, how am I of service to you, Mistress Blackthorn? I would like to know more about this letter. The letter? Oh, what a relief it is to see that it arrived unmolested. It was entrusted to me by Orella of Valga's Reach. After the battle at the Gimlet Dark, I spent a few nights there, you see. I can only assume that whoever sent it to the Reach had heard tell of the battle between you and Lord Xenos and how you had been brought to the Barber. However, by the time it arrived, you had long since been spirited away to Ishgard. Had Lunny not recognised you from my stories, I do not know how I might have seen it to your hand. If you seek the author, mayhap you should pay a visit to the Reach. I know only what I told you, but surely Arella can tell you more. May the Fury watch over and keep you, friend. Okay. To Rolgers. This quest is going to cost us a fortune in terms of teleportation fees. But whatever. I already spent 600k to down a bloody Thavnarian onion. They're really expensive currently because nobody's gardening, because people are shadowbringing. Still, it was the last one I'll ever need to buy, so... Who is Arella? One of the medics? Ah, her, yes. A pleasure to see you. Lost that long-haired boy of yours again? Ooh, Alphino. Hopefully. This is about the letter, is it? It came with a shipment of supplies from Little Alamigo, as I recall. I can only presume the sender was hoping that Commander Hext would see it to you personally, but I'm not surprised it escaped her notice given the chaos at the Gimlet Darken after. It found its way into my medical supplies, and as you well know, I decided to let that Ishgardian Knight take charge of its delivery. In any event, I advise you to continue searching Little Alamigo, and if anyone there knows aught of the letter's author, it would be Gundobald. Can we actually talk to Lise? Is she here? Does she know what's happening? Also, what haven't I unlocked? Oh, that'll be one of the Omega bits and pieces. Haven't really done a whole lot of that. Yeah, is Lise actually up here? Does she know what's been going on? No, she's not. Yeah, not entirely sure what the world state is. Right, Gundobald. Gundobald is the big burly guy, isn't he? Yes. Well met, Demajen. I was not expecting a visit. What brings you to Southern Thanalan this evening? A letter. It's a letter, you say? And you seek the author? If you read it, then you'll know their hearts, what you mean to them, how you change their life for the better. It is a feeling I understand all too well, which is why I agreed to send this letter with the supplies for Volga's Reach. Yet you never were one to let a mystery remain unsolved, were you? You seek answers, closure. I will not deny you this. At the Red Rooster Stead in Lower Lenosha, you'll find a man named Godaherd. Speak with him. Perhaps then you will find a measure of peace. I don't remember him at all. Maybe he's like one of the very first people we helped in the game. Let's speed this up. Right. Godherd. Oh God, it's you. But why? Why are you here? I have this letter. You really don't remember? any of it. The kicker in bandits, a certain merchant who may have overstepped his bounds just a trifle. You were right bloody mess when we returned to the dry docks with my wares, and I do mean bloody. I say, is none of what I'm telling you ringing a bell? Really? Not even the part where I refused to thank you and demanded that you pay me restitution for the property you yourself returned to me? Well, seeing as I've already confessed it, it may as well reiterate. It was me. That was just the beginning of my bad luck, as it happens. A string of bad decisions left me in debt to some very unforgiving fellows, and before I knew it, they'd taken damn near everything I owned. I was friendless, penniless, hopeless. And let me tell you, running afoul of the Warrior of Light has not done me any favours either. There was a time when I couldn't help but blame you for all my misfortune. And then one day, when I was rummaging through my meagre possessions, I had an epiphany. I stumbled upon a package from that shipment you recovered for me that ill-fated day. Flower bulbs, stained with Kikrin blood, but viable for cultivation, still brimming with the potential to grow and thrive. Before I knew it, I was cradling the package to my breast, sobbing and moaning like a mad fool. But a fool is exactly what I've been. I've been offered a kindness without let or lien, and instead of thanking this generous hero, it spat in her face. I don't remember that at all. So I left that behind, save for the bulbs I brought with me here. Apprenticed myself to the botanists and resolved to start anew. And wouldn't you know it, the stubborn little fiends finally bloomed for me. Suppose it's only fitting that you show up again that very day. I've a thousand regrets, but none greater than how I spoke to you. I say this not to beg your forgiveness, but to tell you how you've changed me for the better, and to thank you for the opportunity. I do have one request, if you're amenable to it. I pray you accept a flower, one of the precious few that's bloomed. A token of my heartfelt appreciation for my personal saviour. Admittedly, this particular breed is perhaps best suited for funerals and farewells, but if you'd rather not keep it for yourself, perhaps there's someone else who might welcome it. Flower for Fray. Appreciate might be a strong word for Fray. Someone else indeed. With the chapman to say, call out Fray in the Curth's Central Highlands. Why, I don't mind if I do. It's been a while since we've spoken to Fray. A very long while indeed. What is it that Fray said that we should let them take the reins? I'm just thinking about what to say in chat. I don't tend to just like typing out the one word. Fancy taking the reins for a bit, Fray? There is no response. Yet there could be no answer but this, can there? So let's just wait for a time, you and I, in the cold and in the snow, in the dark. Gonna wait for nightfall. Yeah, Fray can't come back. Fray's part of us now. No! Huh. Clever, clever, clever. Oh, we're just playing it by ear. No matter. I wanted this once. More than anything. A chance to speak and be heard. Oh, all the screenshots, thank you. But neither of us needs it anymore. And if we were to look deep within ourselves, we'd realise that we never did. We are the stories we tell ourselves. The brave hero, the tortured soul, the altruist, the pragmatist. They will tell you who they see, but you and you alone know who you are. But I speak only for myself. If you find comfort in my words, they are yours for the taking, but that is your choice, now and ever after, as it has always been. Now comes your part, to cloak yourself in the fiction, to breathe life into the dead, to give a voice to the voiceless. As we did together that day, when you gave us our answer. Was it ever mine? Huh. Ba, ba. Ba, ba. Yeah, so the implication there is, I think that's the last we will see of Fray. But of course we can summon our esteem whenever we need to. That part of us. That was a really nice scene. Ba, ba, ba. Bum, bum, bum. Also, we got to hear some more of the quality Heavensward music. Welcome back, Demajen. As you can see, Real and I are getting along swimmingly, so you needn't worry about us in the slightest. Not one bit. So, what of that mysterious unsigned letter? Did your grand search for answers lead you anywhere interesting? Basically everywhere. An old acquaintance. Closure, perhaps. That's so. Well, glad to hear it, I suppose. Oh, we got all of these. A Dark Day's Night. We get a title for that. The Boundless Dark. See, I quite like Of the Sunless Sea. Saved any more parallel worlds lately? I jest. Still, you can't blame a man for viewing such incredible claims with a measure of skepticism, can you? Well, there we go. That is the level 80 Dark Knight quest. I confess I was expecting a little bit more. But still a nice, touching piece of content. A nice... It's always a great opportunity to converse with the dark side as a Dark Knight, because obviously the Dark Knight quest line, the Dark Knight story quest, job quests, have widely been regarded as one of the best pieces of writing from Heavensward. And actually, I think it's the person that wrote the Dark Knight quest, I think, is actually the main writer for Shadowbringers, which explains the quality of it. I strongly suspect they will be hired to write other expansions as well. So it's always nice to revisit that. But the interesting thing about the Dark Knight questline is it reveals something about the kind of inner nature of the Warrior of Light, and what it would be like if they could actually speak their mind rather than just following instructions and following orders. But you can't naturally have all quests tailored specifically for for the Dark Knights, because they've got such an acerbic personality. So any opportunity that we get to talk to Fray and to talk to our dark side and to really bring out that little bit of flavour is very, very welcome. And it will be interesting to see just how they continue into the next expansion with this idea of role quests. Because, of course, it was very easy and so well tied into the story, the role quest system for Shadowbringers, because you'd already got the 4 comrades of Oddbert, the Warriors of Darkness, to tell those stories of. Who and what will they choose to do or use for the next expansion? Because there's going to be another job. You know, there's going to be a healer. 99.99% absolute certainty there's going to be a healer, really. What kind of healer? I haven't got a clue, but there will be another healer. Otherwise, healer players will quit in droves if there aren't. Especially considering how riled up some of them are. I'm still expecting to see some reverting of some of the healer changes. I think Square Enix will probably nerf the mana cost of Art of War on Scholar, and will probably add back 1 DPS ability for each. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do about the role quest, but obviously they can't keep on adding a full string of job quests, because the more jobs that get added, it'll be another 2 jobs. It'll be a healer and probably a ranged caster, I would think. Yeah. Don't know what they're going to do. Either way, I'm waxing lyrical about something that wasn't actually the subject of this video. Other channels might do it so that they reach a certain milestone in terms of... What's going on with this collar? In terms of, ad revenue stuff, but none of my videos are monetized because I don't have enough subscribers. I love the Heavensward music. Anyway, I'm just going to stand here and listen to the music a little bit after I round out this video. Thank you all, folks, very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this Dark Knight job quest, the level 80 job quest. For me and Fran, tally ho. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Remember to ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, toodle pip.